Welcome to Light Up Literature's 7th grade subject-verb agreement lesson. You've already learned the basics by now, but now we're going to dive into some trickier cases that will make your writing even better. So, our learning objective is to apply and understand advanced subject-verb agreement rules, including indefinite pronouns, complex nouns, and complex compound subjects. So, we got a lot to do, so let's get to it. Before we move forward with our advanced rules, let's just recap our basic ones. So, a singular subject needs a singular verb. For example, she runs every morning. She is singular, runs is singular. Remember, a lot of times the singular verb will have an S at the end if it's an action verb. Now, our second one, the plural subject needs a plural verb, obviously. So, they run every morning. They is plural and run is plural. Notice, no S. All right, so indefinite pronouns that can be singular or plural. So, indefinite pronouns have commitment issues. So, this is how we're going to look at them. When we are looking at indefinite pronouns, we have to look at the subject, and usually in the prepositional phrase. So, in this example, some is our indefinite pronoun. Of the cake, so that's our prepositional phrase, and cake is our object of the preposition. Cake is what we're focusing on, is gone. So, some is singular. Cake is, or some is confused. Cake is singular. So we're going to have the singular verb is. Now, let's look at a second version. Some of the students, our prepositional phrase, are absent. So some still, it's commitment phobia right there. Of the students, well, students is plural. So we're going to go with the plural, which is closest to the verb. So some of the students are, which is plural, absent. Now, another common mistake, none. None of the books is missing. All right, so we see none has its commitment issues. Of the books, books is plural, so we can't use is. We need to use are. None of the books are, because are is plural, and so is books. All right. Now let's look at collective nouns, whether they're singular or they're plural. Collective nouns like team or class can be singular or plural. But if the group is acting as one, then they're singular. But if the group is acting as individuals, we're going to use a plural verb. So the team is winning the game. So they're all working together to win a game. So they're acting as one. Now, after they won the game, the team are celebrating with their families. Even though it sounds a little weird, the team, because they're celebrating with their families, they're actually, not everyone is their family. So they're celebrating, everyone's celebrating with their own individual families. So that's why we're going to use are. Even though it does sound a little weird, that's the reason why we use are versus is in that version. All right, advanced compound subjects. When compound subjects have both a singular and a plural part, it's just like in the basic rules, the verb agrees with the closest subject. So neither the principal nor the students are attending the meeting. So our verb is are, and our closest subject, students, which is plural. So that's why we have are as plural. Now, if we switch it up, neither the students nor the principal is attending the meeting. So you see we've got principal right there, and that is singular. That is why we're going to use is, the singular verb form. All right, spot the mistake. Most of the pie are gone. So most is another one of those that doesn't want to commit. So we've got most of the pie. Pie is singular. It's one piece of pie. Are gone. So our correct answer is most of the pie is gone. Now, we're going to do some practice and challenge. So rewrite these sentences with the correct verb. Take your time. Go ahead and pause if you need to, so that you can test this out. Now, these are our answers. Some of the water is spilled. Water is singular, so we're going to work with is, since some is not willing to commit. The group decides on the trip next week. So they're deciding as a team, as a whole, as a group. So we're going to use decides because group is singular and decides is singular. Remember, look at that S. Neither my mom nor my brothers are home. So our closest subject, brothers, is plural. That's why we're going to go with are, the plural verb. Most of the apples are rotten. So most is another one of those non-committing. Apples is our closest to our verb. So since apples is plural, we're going to go with are. The team celebrates together after the game. So the team is celebrating together as a whole team. So team is singular and celebrates is singular. And you'll notice that even though it's singular, it has that S at the end of the verb. All right, so here's a quick recap of our tips and tricks for our advanced rules. If a noun ends in S, it's usually plural. So the verb isn't going to end in an S. If an indefinite pronoun refers to something countable, it's usually a plural verb. And if an indefinite pronoun refers to something countable, you're usually going to use a singular verb. All right, now we have covered it all. Key takeaways. Indefinite pronouns can be singular or plural, depending on the context, so we have to really pay attention. Collective nouns are singular when they're working as a unit or as like a group, and plural when they're working as individuals of a team. Compound subjects using either or, neither nor agree with the closest subject. All right, your turn. Write 3 sentences using today's rules. And I look forward to seeing you. And until then, be happy, healthy, and successful